Greetings everyone, my name is Napoleon Complex, I go by Ludendorff from the Southern Forums. Welcome back to Faction Spotlight, and welcome back to the Kushan army. So today I am actually playing as the Sassanids with Bedouin allies, and my Pompey the Flatulent, is playing the Kushans. So just a reminder of the list we're looking at. The Kushan list consists of a large body of armoured and unarmoured horse archers, fronted by a large body of cataphracts, especially with the Parthian allies, who add 2 more as allies. And they have a number of Indian war elephants, which can be used as an anti-cavalry force or to break up fragile infantry. And they have a small body of cheap flanking cavalry. They also have a decent body of expensive and, in my opinion, somewhat cost-inefficient nomad light horse archers, a much larger body, especially with the Parthian allies, of light horse archers. They can afford to take a horse archer swarm if they want to. 1 unit of light javelin horse, which are good for charging other light cavalry or charging into the sides of exposed infantry. A small body of medium foot, which is useful for holding areas of rough ground that the heavy units don't want to bother with. And a fairly decent body of massed archers, which if protected well, can cause considerable disruption amongst the enemy ranks. And they have a decent body of skirmishers as well, especially with the Parthian allies. Normally the Kushans have fairly mediocre skirmishers, so bear that in mind if you bring them alone, or if you bring their other allies, the Saka. But with the Parthians at their side, they can actually field a decent body of foot skirmishers with 2 units of archers, a unit of Eastern slingers, a unit of light javelin, and 1 very mediocre unit of levy skirmishers. Now, I believe I have brought the bane of the Kushan army to bear today, because I am playing the Sassanids with Bedouin allies. Now, this list, I believe, was actually used by someone in the tournament, and this is why I decided to check it out, because I am trying to look at competitive lists. And the army is... The main attraction of this army for me is the presence of these levy spearmen and these Bedouin cavalry, which are excellent when used in combination with one another, at supporting one another and controlling a large area of the battlefield. So the levy spearmen are, of course, very powerful. Well, not very powerful. They're raw. They're only defensive spearmen, so they can't attack at all, and even defensively they're rather weak. But their defensive spearman status means they have good defense against cavalry. Guess what the Kushan list is full of? And they are also, well, really that's their main focus. They can defend well against cavalry, and also as infantry they're bulky enough to soak up a lot of the arrow fire that most of the Kushan cavalry can offer. They will be somewhat vulnerable to cataphract charges, but I think overall as a cheap line filling force they're very cost effective, and that's why they're on the field today. I might rearrange this actually and put them on the left and put all of my cavalry on one wing, but we'll see how it goes. Backing them up is the Bedouin cavalry. Now these are only average quality lancers, so although they get an impact bonus against other cavalry, they'll suffer in prolonged melee. However, they will be dangerous to the Kushan horse archers because the Kushan horse archers, the nomad horse archers and the unarmoured horse archers, are also only average quality. So if the Bedouin cavalry can close the distance against the horse archers quickly and then shock them, then they can potentially drive them off the battlefield, as long as they can avoid being disrupted by archer fire, and protecting them from archer fire is of course the job of the levy spearmen. So the levy spearmen protect against archer fire, and the Bedouin cavalry can charge out to disrupt the archers, and overall this will provide a not impenetrable but certainly a barrier to Pompey's control of the centre ground today, or the right or the left, wherever I ultimately decide to put them. And on top of that, remember, this force is incredibly cheap. These only cost me 24 points. These only cost me 32 points. So all of this only cost about 400 points or so, meaning the rest can be devoted into the real killing arm of the Sassanid army. I have brought, so the Sassanids also have access to elephants. Now these will be quite exposed to enemy horse archers. which the Kushan have plenty of, but they will be deadly against the cataphracts, and they will also disrupt enemy archers and enemy horse at close range. So what I'm hoping to do is get them into the ranks of the cataphracts and also use them in support of my other cavalry units as they move forward to win the cavalry battle over here. And the hope is to break through and then around the side of the Kushan army and wrap up the line there. Though one disadvantage of using elephants in a situation like this is they do disorder the horse archers. Interspersed between the elephants, therefore, I hope to use my melee cavalry. My focus is more going to be on using my cataphracts and armoured lances in support of the elephants. But filling in the gaps in between, we also have these expert armoured horse archers, or maybe I might use the armoured horse archers for that job actually. And the expert armoured horse archers can then... I've also got the Arab cavalry, who, like the elephants, can disrupt enemy cavalry, and these units alongside are supposed to form a line which is practically impenetrable to enemy cavalry. And then I have the armoured horse archers to go right around the flank and start shooting inwards before launching flank attacks on the paralysed Kushan line. And I've got even more armoured horse archers over here, and I've calculated that there's no way that the Kushans can cover this entire front. So Pompey is going to have to go for some kind of concentrated flank if he's going to win today. Which is why I've placed these troops in the centre, so that they're always in the centre. If he moves to the right, I can move these guys to the left, to their left. If Pompey moves to the left, I can move them to their right. And whatever way he tries to move, I'll get these troops in front of him, I'll pin his army down, and then I'll bring in the rest of the army to smash it. So this is my first deployment of a mixed cavalry elephant force. Given the number of horse archers, it's not actually the kind of conditions I'd normally deploy a mixed cavalry elephant formation, but I'm hoping that I will be able to close to melee with the archers with my strong horse archers, and I will be able to drive the weaker horse archers off of the field, because the reason the Huns suffered when they brought expensive horse archers is that the less expensive nomad horse archers of the Kushan list were able to outnumber them and shoot them down. With these cheap units on the field, I don't have that problem anymore. I can outnumber the Kushan army whatever Pompey deploys, and that should hopefully allow me to get the win today. But let's see how it goes. I will be quite embarrassed if I lose this one. I'll be back once I've set up my generals. Okay, so my commander-in-chief commands the centre. As usual, I have a small command force on the right. My elephants and cataphracts and one unit of the expert armoured horse archers, in other words my heavy cavalry, are in a command group together, and I also have the armoured horse archers and expert armoured horse archers and the cavalry, in other words the quote-unquote light cavalry, in a command group together. And there's a small group of supporting archers out here. This force is going to swing out, so I think I'll put them over here to begin with. Now I think this is... Pompey will have had his deployment first, so yeah, here's his army. Right, interesting. If we're quick, I might be able to disrupt these archers, but I'm a little bit afraid of those cataphracts coming out to play. His right wing is weak, so I think I definitely want to move forward quickly with the horse archers, because he's really only got light horse opposing me here. The elephants are somewhat dangerous to my lancer line. Let's see. Well, I mean, I don't mind if he has to use a unit of elephants on my levy spears, because aside from anything else, the levy spears can win that engagement. They'll do quite well. So I think what I want to do is rearrange my formation just a little bit to start off with. I'm going to bring my Bedouin cavalry up. Same idea here. Oh good, we don't even have to rearrange formation here. Okay. I don't think Pompey can afford to be too defensive here. That's right, if we can punch through against his lancers. The only thing I have to watch out for is the elephants countercharging my lancers, or my Bedouin lancers getting disrupted by arrow fire. Of course, that could happen to my levy spearmen as well. This isn't the force I want to lead with. What I'm really interested in leading with is my cavalry force. So let's start to sweep out towards the flanks, and I want to confront those light horse archers. And of course I will keep my archers close by for support. I think we'll race the cavalry out. The elephants will have to stay behind for the moment. But I still want to bring the elephants forward because of course they will be useful for crushing for deployment against the enemy elephants, because I need to keep my cataphracts safe from those elephants. This thing, I still very much have a material advantage over Pompey's army, I believe. But because he's got quite a strong, and I knew he was going to blade something, because he's got quite a strong, that would be his left flank, then I need to make sure that I attack on the left as quickly as I can, and I can maybe use this forest even to shield my right flank if it comes down to it. But also, if I can bring my troops over, these massed archers should be quite exposed, so I don't see any reason to be timid here just now. I'll bring my Bedouin light horse out to play, and they can probably spread some panic amongst the skirmish line. And these Bedouin lancers will be extremely dangerous to those massed archers if they can make a charge. He probably deployed like this because he was expecting infantry over here. Although the cataphracts will be dangerous. I wonder. Maybe next turn, I might even bring these Bedouin lancers over. But I need to be careful and leave some strength back here. Oh, right. What exactly were you planning on putting in the center, Napoleon? Right. Never mind. Those lancers will be going over here next. Which means I only have these forces available. I don't understand how in this situation I managed to be the one who got himself stretched thin. I didn't count my forces correctly. I'll need to bring these over and shuffle troops around then, which is going to change things over here next turn. So Pompey really does seem to have a rather contemptuous view of the Kushans. I actually quite like the list. I think it's not got an advantage this time, but yeah. Well, I've said that before in I think the other game, that I disagree with that analysis of the Kushans. As horse archer armies go, in fact, just as general armies go, they seem to have quite a few advantages. He's really weighting that flank. So standing in the way of all of that is suicide. And of course, Pompey's setting up to make me pay for every inch of progress I make here. Right. A doorbell. Oh. Okay, well the cataphracts change everything. So we're definitely on the defensive on the right now. That means I need to be even more aggressive on the left. Right, okay. Hmm. There's really not a lot for my elephants to get to grips with over here. Right, let's think. Let's have a bit of a rethink. There are enclosures there, so our archers can use that for cover, but let's just think a little bit more. There's nomad. Pompey has anticipated my forces very well. He even seems to have anticipated the fact that I might have taken an aggressive stance here because he's moved cataphracts up to here. Normally I would just expect to have, medium forces holding this forest, but he's moved up heavy units in anticipation of a cavalry battle. So I wasn't expecting this kind of battle, with heavy units massed on the right with archers in support and the lighter units out on this wing. So this isn't the situation I was expecting, really. Okay, let's try to adapt. We need to pull back on this wing because this isn't going to go our way. Problem is those cataphracts can then get in the post. I think our elephants need to change flanks. How can I disguise that? Because I don't want him to realise that's what I'm doing. I think we'll push this part of our force out aggressively. However, I actually want this side to turn defensively and pull in towards the side of the field. Because we can still use our lancers very effectively here. I think with the right force setup we can still do a good job here with our horse archers and our lancers. Okay, move the elephants like this. But they're actually going to go along the back of the line and aim for the cataphracts. But what am I going to do about the massed archers? That's probably why he put them together like that. Damn, that's clever. Why can't I be that smart? Okay. Let's see. And keep the camels with our horse archers. Because we also want our elephants to be out of the way of our horse archers, because otherwise the elephants will disrupt them. Right, so these units pull back and support, and honestly, once the archers are beyond this foliage, they will be quite vulnerable. Oh, because I just realised this area is riddled with ditches. Right, forget it. We just can't fight in this area. We don't want to come anywhere near any fight in this area. I'm probably going to have to pull these units back as well, actually, because we do not want anything to do with this side of the battlefield at all. It's a death trap for our army. So these units need to pull right back, and this flank needs to push straight up. And hopefully I can win the battle here and then swing around at the Kushan army next turn. Apologies folks, I was off entertaining guests. Let's take a look at this. So yeah, we're continuing to go back. Right, I need to think carefully about this because the lines are closing. Those skirmishers are going to be a problem because they'll pursue us through the rough and cause hassle there. I can probably use these Bedouin light horse to harass them. Let's see, if I put them here, there's a chance Pompey either won't see them or will forget about them and we might get the drop on them. Let's see. So they'll come through at this angle here. Might be, well, they're likely to get the first hit on us anyway. I think the cavalry just need to withdraw. And of course, yeah, that's what the whole problem was. We're trying to get out of the enclosed ground. Well, given the archers, we probably don't want to be in the village, but we could possibly be behind the village and use it for cover. So that would be a good place to place our defensive spears. Let's see. So this happens to me a lot. This happens to me a frightening amount. I have my initial battle plan. It doesn't work out because my opponent has done something else, and then I end up having to rearrange my entire line to fit a new battle plan. I know there's a saying, no battle plan survives contact with the enemy, but it seems to happen to me more often than is healthy. Now they'll probably just get in the way of my horse archers. So I think we'll just form up in a line and prepare to confront his light horse. And move forward a little bit because these units are overlapping, really overhanging the flanks. I don't think we're any more vulnerable here because he can mass fire wherever he likes, really. Now the only thing I will say about this is it does mean that well, he could come through and bombard that unit, actually give them the general, because they're the most vulnerable unit right now. But it does give my Arab cavalry some protection. Right, let's take a look over here now. Should probably want to turn like this. And the problem is the massed archers, because those massed archers can seriously mess up life for my elephants, which I want to use to counter this little attack of his. We'll keep them here for now because hopefully I can lure Pompey into bringing his cataphracts forward into this area. We'll bring these forward behind our lines. Lancers might actually be of some use in this sector of the battlefield. But the cataphracts and elephants remain back. We probably want to keep some lancers because they'll be good to send after the Indian archers. Right, so you lot just keep running. But the eastern archers are going to be difficult to deal with. If we can get rid of the two eastern archer units, the slingers and the light javelin shouldn't be so hard to cope with. Next turn. Yep. I underestimated just how far forward they could move and still twist around to fire. And he can still hit me with one unit, but at least he can't hit me with both units from that position. The rough ground is getting in our way, but we can still continue our retreat. I did take back that move, didn't I? Okay, good. The enclosures are a problem. Alright. So we managed to set up a defensive perimeter around this area here. Now that gives me a little bit of time to get set up and actually ready for a proper attack. Let's see. We're not quite ready to launch an attack on these nomad light horse archers yet, but I can start to move forward aggressively. The Arab cavalry are actually very exposed to missile fire, so I probably don't want to expose them first. It'll be the armoured horse archers. It'll be this line of armoured horse archers that I want to move forward, with the camels waiting a tile behind because we don't want them adjacent to the expert armoured horse archers because they'll weaken their fire. The Bedouin Lancers are melee, so we probably don't want to use them in the same place as our expert armoured horse archers. So we'll keep them back with the infantry, and it's the armoured noble lancers will move out in support. Okay. And the elephants and cataphracts can follow the Bedouin cavalry out if they're forced to charge out in reaction to a horse archer charge. In fact, actually keep them back so they can join in with that assault, because there's no real reason for me to. There's already not. This force here alone will be enough to take care of these units of light horse and the unarmoured horse archers. I don't need to send even more force to support that battle. The rest of my army can stay back and focus on this situation here. The enclosures are a real problem. In fact, I think I need to shift my infantry over, so it's my infantry fighting in that area. Let's try and use the enclosures to our advantage for once. We can use our infantry to actually be defended by these enclosures, and then the cavalry can move around this flank here. Start to adapt to the situation instead of constantly being controlled by it. Next turn. Some thinking time from Pompey there. Probably because he realizes that my army's redeploying. He's moved. Right, that's a typical Pompeian trick. He's moving out into the woods. He's got skirmishers heading here. They all re-emerge when I'm least expecting it. He's actually drawing into a defensive position. Right, so that's the plan. He's not going to try and press me here. Oh, thank goodness, that takes a lot of the pressure off. He's continuing to fall back. He's not going to give me an easy shot at the skirmishers. Oh, but he is riding horse archers off into this area. Well, the town will give us some cover. Okay, I think it's time that I forced Pompey to stand and fight over here. See, so we've hit this unit here and this unit here. So let's plan our course of action carefully, aiming for a few disruptions here. Good. I definitely want to follow up on my attack here. Right, unfortunately that wasn't a cohesion test, but this will be. Held firm. Good. But these light horse archers won't be able to match these heavier horse archers. And I have units coming up in support. And these are all heavily armoured horse archers. My unprotected units can come up and attack once these units start to come under a bit of pressure, which means they're less likely to get shot at by ordered troops. So this attack will work well. This will put some pressure on Pompey. He either has to fall back and risk being shot at more as he retreats, or he has to turn around and fight what I think is going to be a disadvantageous battle for him. Especially since I'm also threatening him with lancers over here. Right. So what we were going to do here was we were going to, I think I'll move my lancers out into the open field. And I will start to move my levy troops into the enclosures. And that will give Pompey's cavalry some problems. They might be able to disrupt us with fire, but they won't be able to. They'll have a hard time attacking out. So my plan here really is just defense at the moment. And with these enclosures here, I don't think I'm even going to bother keeping some cavalry here. This is just a place to fortify up. And my army's actually going to swing round for a concentrated attack in this position here. And I know his skirmishers have gone into the woods there, so I know they're sneaking about, so I'll pull my Bedouin light horse back as well. Any forces I keep around here are purely defensive at this point. Next turn. So a few more moves. Since we're moving out here, I think I'll move my Bedouins to this position. There we go. And eventually I should... Problem is, if he moves into these enclosures here, I might need to push out with the infantry actually to try and take these enclosures and limit their use to the archers. If I can force his cavalry into a battle amongst these enclosures, that would be good, because they can't charge effectively there, and my levy spearmen can easily drive off horse archers. So I'm starting to apply pressure to the left wing now, and we can see that in Pompey's thinking time, I think. But he is evacuating to the flank. So his plan will probably be to throw everything against this flank now. Now I know Pompey doesn't have much faith in the Kushan army, so I need to try to use that to my advantage. He's riding them away so that if I go after the unarmoured horse archers, they'll come back and attack. But that might honestly be worth it. Oh, wait, I see what he's doing now. Oh, well then, that gives me a chance to capture these enclosures, so that could work for me. Yeah, sorry if I've been a bit gloomy in my commentary recently, folks. I've been a little bit tired. I've been working hard on the channel. I think I've just been uh, tiring myself out a little bit. Right, let's take a look. Move up to here, and here we're going to start closing them down. So far from moving away at this point, we're going to start moving up. Unfortunately, I need to take time to turn my infantry around. And I think just to close down the horse archers options, I'll move, well, let's think about this. It'd be useful to have some archers of my own here, actually, because mine are now far away. And we'll circle around and start getting ready to turn around here. Now, what if I was to take this hill? So that might dent. Well, the thing is, he's got all of his horse archers ready there. Is it still worth coming out like this? I think I'd have to say yeah. In fact, rather than just race out, I think keep our Bedouin cavalry poised so that they can move out. And so I obviously can block this. If Pompey sees that, he's less likely to go for it. Bringing my elephants up because I can see that there are cataphracts there that they will be useful against. But I probably want to send my elephants, well, I need to keep my elephants in reserve really, because the only units they're really useful against are the enemy infantry if they can get into them, the enemy elephants and the cataphracts. This massive horse archers really doesn't give them a good target to aim for. But beyond that, we're really just forming up and getting ready to advance. I think, as I said at the beginning, one thing the Bedouin Lancers cavalry will be good at is chasing down enemy horse archers. I do need to keep away from those archers though. Right, we should be able to get at least a disruption from him here. And I might be able to get two if I can position my cavalry correctly for it. But that would mean coming too close to these archers here. I need to show a modicum of caution. Okay, so we'll move conservatively. Okay, good, and that's a disruption. Okay, keep the lancers around. So I'll actually bring them up so they can come forward and confront these nomad horse archers. And then we've got the elephants for when the enemy's elephants turn around and start causing problems. And I've got my own lancers here as well to counteract units like the cataphracts. So it's all coming into a big central clash here, I think. I want to try and race forward and take the hill, but with these enemy archers here, it's going to be painful for any unit that tries to do that. Okay, I need to be careful here that I don't expose the Arab cavalry to too much fire. We've got an enclosure here which will help our archers if these light horse archers get involved, because they can just tie down the light horse archers behind the barricades and move on. Okay, next turn. Now I was thinking of trying to move the Bedouin light horse around here to attack the archers, but there's a mess of skirmishers in this forest, so we don't want to do that. We'll just move them away. Good use of the Commander-in-Chief, and he's moved over to give them another rally opportunity. So he's managed to disengage his forces. He's drawing up defensively now. That's a full defensive formation. Not a sign of confidence. But I've still got these elephants to worry about. I also need to look out for these skirmishers, but they are pulling back as well. I would have thought Pompey would want to send them around to harass my flanks. This unit's getting ready to do that. And he's trying to encircle me with the light cav. Which he can do. There's not a lot I can do against that. The problem with what Pompey's doing is it might give me time to set up. However, I can't approach very easily with the elephants because the massed archers are there. And what I can do is start to move the levy spearmen forward to threaten the Indian archers, and that will draw the cataphracts up to play. Okay, since I actually have the time to draw up for a proper attack, and it's not like the other game where I'm under an enormous amount of pressure all the time, I should probably take the time to draw up properly. The light cavalry are going to be a problem. I never did really manage to get to grips with them. I managed to maul this nomad light horse archer unit a little bit. If I just charge in there right now, I'm going to have difficulties. And he can ride up to this hilltop right now, but on the other hand, if he comes forward too aggressively, then he's going to get lances to the face, and horse archers, even on a hill, do not do particularly well against lancer charges, and I can always bring in my elephants if the lancers can't dislodge them. So, remember, these are armoured noble lancers. They'll smash a hole in that hilltop defence, no problem. Okay, and he can't come too far forward because I'm threatening his flank with the levy spearmen as well. The enemy archers will be a problem. Right, let's think about this. Do I want to move up here just now and take this defensible ground? Because it would curtail him a bit, but on the other hand, he'll also be able to rain fire down in that position once I move up onto it. Ideally, I want my troops to be in a position to charge when I get ready. Watch out for the enclosures. They are going to be a problem. I'm thinking shuffle these units along just slightly. Can we move to here and still turn? Good. Okay. So our lancers are drawing up in a long line to oppose the enemy cavalry archers. Now obviously some of them might get disrupted, but it should be okay, and we've got elephants in reserve. So you can see how the line is going to be set up. And so to make room for that, we'll have a horse archers back here. Particularly the experts. And let's see, how many points has he invested back here? Not that that really matters, I'm not much of a point counter. But about 100 units worth of points. Well, I think a unit of my armoured horse archers and the Arab cavalry should be a decent reserve to deal with that, so we'll leave them behind and focus on the battle involving our main forces. So that's about the same points investment I'm leaving behind. I do also have his light troops to worry about. Their position in the enclosure will be quite difficult. If I move these units around, I can at least keep his skirmishers busy. Let's see. It's probably worth keeping one unit of lancers around here, just in case I can slip them in around the back. Okay, so we've got another unit of lancers to find a home for here. Yes, our battle line's going to slide along like this. Right, get to there so you can get into position most quickly. because we'll need to get a move on after this turn is ready, is said and done. Next turn. I think Pompey's being a little conservative with his skirmishers here. But he probably doesn't want to push them into a fight with my horse archers that he can't win. He'll want to strike when they're supported with the rest of the cavalry. So the plan is for a cavalry attack along this line. Yeah, he's really boxing up. That's a full defense. Okay. Well, that does give me an idea. Lose if we're drawing up for battle. But I rather think I have a better plan. Because the forest will get in the way of our levy spearmen. I suppose I could try and move through the forest and get around their sides. But I'm starting to think that this is the breakthrough point. We'll lead the assault with our horse archers. Ideally our most heavily armoured horse archers. So you just leave some cheap units behind to cope with the enemy light cavalry. Because I don't really care about that contest. No, the lancers have to go in the second wave because I'm anticipating a counterattack by his elephants. So they'll form the second wave. In fact, the elephants are going to launch the counterattack. So the idea is these levy spearmen will attack along this line here, and then we'll be in deep battle formation with my armoured horse archers forming the first line. I think my elephants will have to form the second line, and the lancers will be in reserve in the third. Okay, that seems simple enough. Next turn. Well, I can move to contain that. Did I forget to move them? I may have forgotten to move them. I swear Pompey is like a ghost at moving his light infantry. He keeps moving. He really likes ambushes. See, this is the kind of thing I'd never consider to do. I'd never consider running away into woods to hide my army as I advance, but that actually gives me a real problem because I don't know where he is, and that means I can't avoid flank attacks. And I don't have the light troops to scout. It's just that one unit just sliding out of the forest silently to trap us. Let's see. Can I stop them? And am I bothered enough to stop them? There are enclosures in front of here. If we could... Oh, but I can't mask the approach of my elephants because he's on top of a hill and it's a steep... Oh, he's completely walled up. How do you attack this with a mostly cavalry force? Normally, I'm up for a good assault, but I'm used to doing it with an infantry army, not with a cavalry army, and not when I can barely see what I'm doing. There could be he has an unknown number of cavalry in those woods at this point. He's coming in again. He's closing in on the elephants. My big fear was that he would rush out and disrupt my archer line. But instead he's moving like this. Since he's offered... Oh god, but of course I've moved... I move my troops to concentrate in one area of the battlefield, and he moves his forces over to concentrate on the other side. It's so quick and it's so hard for me to keep track of that by the time I've formulated the battle plan for one part of the battlefield, the situation's completely changed. And I have to completely redirect my forces to react to what he's doing. And he's got this base in the hill, which means unless my formation is perfect, picture perfect, it's likely to end in disaster. Okay. Well, we're still going to persist with the original plan. But we are going to adapt it a little bit. So horse archers still to the front. And now we'll need a side guard of lancers to the side to keep an eye out for enemy cavalry attacks. And and our reserve lancers to the back. Now I don't want to waste my armoured lancers on a duty like that. The protective lancers will have to be these lancers here, because you don't entrust your best units to flank guard duty. I can see you doing that, and I'm not about to just let it happen. Of course, now the Bedouin camels are in a bad shape. I hate maneuver games like this when you're trying to get organized for an attacking advance and the picture keeps shifting in front of you and you're playing guessing games all around as to where the next attack is going to come from. I feel like I do best in a conventional battle setting when it's two lines moving towards one another to clash on open terrain. When it's unclear like this, I start to get very nervous. Very nervous. Next turn. Yeah, I knew I'd expose those camels as soon as I did it. Now that actually helps. That was what I was afraid of, the archers attacking my... Okay, I think Pompey's made a mistake pushing out like this. Now he's kept one unit of Indian archers back. Facing is going to be important here, so bring the cataphracts up. Right, if we're going to advance, we need to be on the flat. Alright, let's come all the way forward then and make sure that we have a place in the hill. We have lancers behind if there's difficulties. The situation could cause problems. Right. So that was the plan. Elephants in second, lancers in the third line. Push them off. And then zone of control them here. That way our camels only have the light horse archers to worry about. Lancer's second line anyway, so hold them back a little bit. That was so we don't have to place the elephant unit here. I'm trying to keep them away from these armoured horse archers so they don't disrupt them. The idea is when or if this line fails, or the elephants come up to cause problems, we can then send in our own elephants. We don't want our lancers to attack the elephants, and then our lancers can come in and finish the job if it still needs doing. Well, I should probably give my general to the unit that's threatened by a direct cataphract charge in the open. This situation is pretty unpleasant, not gonna lie. But I have lancers in reserve if they do manage to break through here. And charging out brings its own problems. Okay. Next turn. Right, well, there go my lancers. Thank you, sir. May I have another? Oh, he's drawn back. That's fine. That's what I wanted you to do. Oh my god, there's masked archers too? They must have been hiding there since the start of the game. Okay, I think Pompey might have sprung those elephants a little bit early. I can't quite get onto the hill in time with my elephants. Okay, zone of control, the generaled up elephant. The problem is the slope. We're going to get pushed off the slope. No, Pompey's actually timed this perfectly. Because he's caught me just where I can't position my troops to respond. I'm feeling distinctly outclassed here. That's no good. Right to here then. At least stand their ground and shoot, and launch some counterfire. Good. It's a disruption out of it at least. Actually, if we can... we just can't get any casualties on those elephants. Right. Prepare the lancers for a counter-attack once the elephants charge through, because they can't stay there. You know what, this is a good duty for my armoured horse archers. So this situation here is going to hurt. We've managed to disrupt the elephants and the unarmoured horse archers, so that's an okay trade for these units here. This situation is not good though. Do I want lancers in front line? Probably don't want to put lancers anywhere. What the? That's that glitch again, where I've lost my movement points for this unit. Very annoying. It's the second time I've seen it. Okay, so for the moment, just keep the elephants back. Next turn. One more thing, just in case the elephant blunders through to this square here. I'm going to position this elephant here so it can react. Next turn. Right, contact. Oh, thank goodness. Good thing elephants are impetuous and tend to ignore. Well, they're not actually. They're the opposite of impetuous. They tend to avoid good attack opportunities. We are eventually going to disrupt here. Yep. Jesus, that's a lot of fire. So we're going to lose over here. Okay. Oh no! At least it didn't break immediately, but that's bad. He's brought in reserves of his own. More reserve cavalry coming out to play. Or should I say, even more reserve cavalry coming out to play. Lots are broken already. Ouch. Ouch, caught us in a nasty little triangle. This was a real blow. Where's a general when you need him? Right, tie down the elephant here. That's lucky. Right. Now send in our own elephants and drive them off. Good. Okay. Now those elephants can't be everywhere, although they can potentially move to the square and tie us down. How to address that problem? Well, if I move my camels in there and try to move the horse archer unit to here, they'll just end up getting trapped. I wonder if they'll evade. If they don't, then I've just got a flank attack. Yep. Oh wait, because the blasted elephant's out of control. I misread the situation, and I couldn't afford to. Turn to zone of control those elephants. Give them room to run away. What are we going to do about this situation here? Well, the elephants can't charge us if I position my camels here. All they can do is try to move to this square to eventually get into contact with my cataphracts, and that would allow us through into the back lines. Probably not a good idea to use my camels there then. What we really want to do is maybe consider, well, let's see. If the elephants charge, we need a way to get our troops out of there. And I do want to zone of control this position here, because otherwise the elephants will charge the armoured horse archers, or they'll charge the cataphracts. I need a zone of control here, so the elephants don't have time to get involved. What I'll do, I think, is move up a unit which is of good quality and can actually threaten the elephants with some disorder. Okay, we did actually manage to cause some casualties. A shame we couldn't do more. The elephant here is disrupted. That's good for us. They broke off this turn, but I think they can still move. Charging here is risky. It's a bit of an unplanned maneuver. I don't know what's going to happen. Right, we've won that engagement. That could be important. Don't turn them to face yet until I know exactly what I'm doing. On the rare occasions where I know exactly what I'm doing. I kind of need to face down those unarmoured horse archers, so I'll send my Bedouin lancers off to deal with that situation. He might have something else hidden though, so I do need to be careful. Make sure we block them directly, even if it means taking direct fire. Of course, that leaves nothing to potentially catch these archers, so I need to make my decision here. Because if I can break this unit suddenly, I can potentially cause a lot of damage to his army. Without the enclosures, these are pretty terrible odds. And my general is elsewhere fighting elephants. I think I'll draw back here actually, because then I've got the enclosures protecting me again, and that can give me time to bring other units up. Now here's an interesting question. If I move the elephants to here, everything will be disrupted. But the elephants can't charge yet, and it could give me time. But the zone of controls are troublesome. I think if the elephants move to here, they won't exert a zone of control because they can't turn to face there. And so my armoured horse archers might be able to move forward and let the elephants through to attack. It does risk getting these armoured horse archers caught though. It's all very complicated, which I don't like. God, even with the hill advantage, we're at a disadvantage against these cataphracts. It's because this cataphract unit is under strength. It's amazing how something that small can make a big difference like that. At least we forced them to spend some ammo. Because that's pretty much the only good thing I can say about that situation. You guys circle around so you can come back to the fight. I think we will have to... Well, let's just see. I want to see how this goes first. It's risky. It's very, very risky now to attack here, and I have to turn here now to protect this square. Thankfully, my zone of control ensures that he can't just attack me here, and these militia theory EF4I aren't placed in a good position to intervene. So he can't just knock me away. He can, yeah, he can't charge like that either, I believe. Because zone of controls, it assumes that if there's a unit physically here blocking the square, he could potentially charge on this path. But because my zone of control is exerted here, he can only charge here. He can only charge in this direction, and we'll catch him. So my expert armored horse archers are no threat, and I think they're actually just out of charge range anyway. So do I want to go for a break here, because I could cause it, but if it fails I'll get flanked by the unarmored horse archers. It all depends whether I want to just take my time and try to go away. Try and win this fight, or whether I want to charge home and take this opportunity with the risk that being hit in the flank entails. And how do I want to concentrate my forces here? Because this is going to hurt. I've got these units under control for now, at least until my units break. Turn like this for the moment. Do I want to pull back and send in my lancers or something? I think I do. And we get lucky with our cohesion tests. Move the lancers up onto the hill and draw the camels back. Very lucky with cohesion tests there, so that we aren't threatened by... we aren't affected by disruption caused by our own cavalry. I am tempted to charge these out just so they're not taking stationary fire, but that will probably just get our troops killed. I'd rather force Pompey to spend the fire that he'll need to spend to get rid of these units once and for all. Better that than we just lose them to a charge that won't even matter anyway. Although if I can shove, well, they won't evade anyway, so we just end up getting our levy spearmen killed to basically no gain. And those units were there to block the enemy and nothing more. Okay. And most importantly, I need my elephants ready to deal with this situation. If this elephant unit charges, then they'll end up here, and I can counterattack my own elephants, because the expert armored horse archers should dart away in this direction here. Unless we're very unlucky and the elephants proceed to this point and manage to get into the back of the Bedouin cavalry, but they will be flanked immediately after that, and I really don't think that's likely to happen. Turn the cataphracts like this, so that these cataphracts here have no choice but to target the levy spearmen. That takes away any threat of our bit. Well, that kind of defeats the purpose of them here. Oh, well, they can't do that anyway because of the positioning of the troops, so yeah, leave them here, I guess. No, do turn them like this, and that's so if these elephants do overcharge somehow, we've got less of a chance of getting hit in the flank, because they started here. That won't actually count as a flank attack, because they started in front of my Bedouin cavalry. Other things that could happen is they could try and pursue the Arab cavalry, and that would actually cause a problem, as they'd then be out of my grasp. We have some reserves here for when this lot breaks through, and honestly that's going to have to do, because that's going to be a meltdown. Right. Good. Let's see what to do then. So I think, seeing as that's under control there, and they're protected anyway from a back charge, I think they're likely to dodge through this path here. Probably best off if I just fire here. And seeing as I said these archers are protected, I'll just back my Bedouin cavalry out of the situation, because there's no flank threat here. As long as my men aren't stupid enough to try and run away instead of manning the barricades. Do I want to engage here? No, I probably want these units in reserve, so once the elephant situation is resolved one way or the other, I can intervene. And I think I want to ultimately send my armoured lancers over to here rather than keeping a reserve. We'll try and break through this area here. Now, last decision I need to make, am I going to take this gamble? Because we are going to come under a lot of fire here before I can move these units up to help, and a sudden charge here to break these units would help. Now, I'm not going to do it because even if we break this unit, we're likely to just end up flying into the nomad horse archers, and that would be unpleasant, to say the least. So we'll just wait until our cavalry are formed up here and then come to the rescue. So on that, well, let's see. Just looking out for his potential flanking options. They're not spectacular actually, so yeah, I'll just let the situation stand as it is for now. Next turn. Okay, on we go. Ouch. Generaling up would be handy here. Where is my general? He's over here. Alright. Well, there go my levies. Flaming heck. Oh no, he could charge. Oh, I misunderstood the movement rules. That's a rare lapse for me. That does help though. You'd better stop. I suppose it was inevitable. And that's more annoying than anything else. Curses. Oh god, what happens for the other 50% of the time? You fools. You had no reason to run away. Your back was protected by the terrain. What were you thinking? Oh, it's all gone horribly wrong. And then he's protecting us. He's used the movement rules to mean that, to ensure that I can't charge. I've started a new series because of this called Cavalry Training, because it's obvious that I need practice. Desperately obvious now. Right. Because I wanted to do this. Oh great, where's a general when you need one? Or, where is this group's general? Okay. Oh, well, I meant to give it to that unit, not the... Oh. Let's just get on with this. Before anything else goes wrong. Charge! Well, that's helpful. But they dropped out of contact. Let's see. Why are we losing? Oh, because we're on low ground. Really? That badly? Huh. Can I move edge forward for a second? Okay, just in case we could charge out through there. Right, well we definitely need to try and gain an edge here. Because we're moderately disordered by the... Oh, it's because of the elephant battle going on. The ongoing elephant battle. So I know how to solve this. Oh. So the presence of our own cavalry kind of knocks it a little bit. Don't know why my game is being so slow at the moment. It's always worrying because it can mess up the recording. You know what, those odds aren't so bad. We'll get involved with that. And that lets me move up my own cavalry. Although the hell really isn't helping matters. And I really don't want to disorder my cav. I still think we have enough resources to win here. But I am worried about this situation. Let's see. Move out to here. We've got the enemy enemy archers to worry about. At least this will prevent them from charging into the Bedouin cavalry. Or, even better, because I don't think the archers can move to stop that. Don't even think about it. I think we both forgot about that. But at least I can get them in the back and get revenge for my stupid archers. You guys are getting your pay docked, you can bet that much. Go after the healthy unit first. They ran for miles. Aha! Well, that certainly went my way. Amazing charge. Oh. I'm still not complaining. So not complaining about that. Oh, well, look at that. It's the initial impact that's terrifying. And of course the elephant is about to come rampaging through. Perfectly honest, it's probably better to... It might be better to back off everything here. Because this unit is going down hard, trust me. I'll engage here, but only because I have the beginnings of a plan. Move through here. How did I not see... Well, let's see, we need to see what happens here first. If these guys don't end up anywhere too nasty, then we might be able to work with this. Maybe. But the unarmoured horse archers will get us. There is a chance that if we just ride everything through this gap, we will eventually get something into a flanking position. And I think I'll keep... I'm worried about the course these elephants could take. They could end up going into the flanks of these elephants here. How does this smelly resolve itself? The elephants are standing their ground. They'll rally up soon. I could flank them, but well, I'd like to deal with this situation here first, to be honest. Do I just resolve this then and decide to just take it on the chin? Because we've got multiple units that'll be disrupted now. I think I'll have to. This situation could cave any moment now, which makes me extremely nervous. Okay, just resolve it. I think our general just died at the worst possible time. Terrible news. Now we'll lose. Ugly, ugly stuff. The best move I can do is move my horse arch through. But that's guiding the elephants straight into our flank. That was a terrible thing to happen to us. I should have stopped that. It would have been worth anything to stop that from happening. I just have to hope that the elephants come through and hit our Bedouin cavalry instead. That's the best we can hope for now. I can't say it enough. I need so much more training with my cavalry. Next turn. Well, that wasn't a very confident statement by Pompey. You've got to be kidding me. Both elephants rallied up. How unlucky was that? That was really bad timing. Oh, that was helpful. We needed another turn there, we really did. That'll help because those archers will be badly disrupted in the forest. But they held firm. Pompey's had a really good turn here. Not a spectacular turn, but both elephants rallying up. That helps. Anytime those cataphracts can give us is valuable. Now that means my archers can get back behind entrenchments. Right. Well, this situation is what it is. And it certainly is a situation. Right. We can drive into these unarmoured archers. I know they're just going to keep chasing me around, so I'll just keep them pinned, shall I? Go away. This, however, is bad. And of course their general died last turn, didn't he? Very inconsiderate of him. Yep, this has perfectly blocked my army from performing that flank attack. Because there's... wait a second. No, not quite. I do have some options on that front. But it means turning my back to a potential unit of elephant, to a potential elephant charge. Wait, can we even charge? No, we can't because of the horse archers here. However, I can do this. If they actually retreat. Good. Wait a sec. Oh, of course, turning in like that would threaten the flanks of my Bedouin cavalry. Might be worth it to go after the cataphract, but it really was a blow losing this. So under control, those nomad light horse archers tripped us up. Because our camels are in turn moderately disordered by the elephants. We've got disorder within disorder. Let's resolve this because there's nothing I can do about it just now. Okay, and I think I'll have to pass my commander-in-chief to try and keep these elephants stable. Right. First of all, I need to know what happens to these cataphracts. Right, they're actually doing fine. They're holding up surprisingly well against the elephants. That's a low percentile chance of ending well. We're defensive spears, but I really do need to get into melee because these guys are just going to keep shooting at us. Unless I can get into melee with these units somehow from another direction and then get the flank on them. You've got to give it to Pompey here. He's commanded the situation extremely well. That means giving up on these guys here. But I think this is the key point. Try and break them. Okay, unfortunately they held firm. Charge here. Straight into the bush. As long as we don't disrupt when these units panic, which they will, they have to. Right, that unit's now in melee. If we move up here, we can get these units moderately disordered. Now that should even the field for my expert armored horse archers. Can they hold out? They won that round. No, they couldn't. Fragmentation. I should have given them the general. Coulda, shoulda, wouldn't, didn't. Of course, that's the whole problem. Right, what's best to do here? My own units have seriously gotten in my way. That's not a good charge to take. On the other hand, we have now got these units here in a terrible position. If we can break the militia 3 of 4i, we might have a chance. Let me think about it. Where are we winning, where are we losing? This situation's not great, but it's not terrifying yet. We're going to lose this elephant battle, but win this elephant battle over time. We are eventually going to lose here because our cataphracts, well, maybe not. If we can hold out long enough. Okay, I think I will turn my archers around just to confront the situation. And I'll send my lancers through. Stand them like this so they fall back. Okay, next turn. The elephants are seriously screwing with this. Those were extremely unwelcomely timed rallies. I think we might get into the backs of those archers, but where are we going to go from there? Ah, there's a small chance we could cut through everything here. Nope. Well, it was nice to dream. Great. Could have given me a little bit of time, folks. He's getting out of there because Pompey can see what's about to happen there. Hopefully we can catch them. I like being a pincushion. It's a good life. Very lucky we survived that. Grumble. Right, the elephant battle continues. Yes, they're disrupted again. we are winning. There. Very welcome rally. Another very welcome rally. Right, let's see if we can catch them. They ran like whirlwinds. Finish this up here. They're behind entrenchments, so this won't really work very well for us. And we, of course, go after the light javelins. And we couldn't quite catch them either, so we're now left in quite an exposed position. Well, they're blocked in by enemy troops, so I think I'll take this. And then get a proper flank attack with the elephants. Right. Shall we dance? Oh, luckily my elephants are continuing to hold out. Probably best to get out of the way there. At least these cataphracts don't have anything to charge at yet. Great. This is all going to come tumbling down. We are slowly winning this fight, but it's hard going. No, it really does. Well, unfortunately, we couldn't win here, so it really does. And we lost melee. That's really, really unfortunate. I'll take the easy fight first, and then maybe. Nope. Snake eyes. Well, I mean, we do still have a chance that one of these flank attacks will go through. But given that the nomad horse archers are about to charge us, it's not looking particularly great. However, we are winning over here, so that's something. And of course, this situation is falling apart. Just move up and tie them down. We'll have to turn back to the fight here. At least the elephants should make life interesting for us cataphracts. Now, of course, this is eventually going to come down. Can't charge here because we will just end up getting fragmented. Where on earth do I go here? I don't see much point in standing there and waiting to become rout fodder. Let's move onto the square and start to try and threaten these Indian archers. That might at least force a response from them. And of course we'll lose this. Yeah, this is rough going. Next turn. Hold the phone. Move these guys to here. Whew. Good, we held on, but he'll probably charge to make sure that's a rout. Amazingly, our cataphracts held firm despite being murdered by the elephants. Need them to hurry up and win. Yep, that's to be expected. And do our elephants panic? Oh, cruel fate is mine. But of course there's a chance these elephants could break and that could help us. Oh, brilliant. Well, that makes up for it. I should probably have seen that coming. Our troops galloped into the worst position imaginable. Good, we held firm. But this is what I really need to happen. I need the elephant unit to break. There we go! Now, is that going to panic the rest of the army? I held firm. Ah, but it disrupted the elephants. Now that could really help. That's fine. Massively advantaged. The ditches don't seem to be doing their job. Ah, now isn't that convenient? We can just get the upper hand over these unarmoured horse archers. This was a disaster. God knows what's going to happen here. Try and weaken them first with our lancers. Seems they're about to get flanked anyway. Okay, the elephants hung on. Okay. Okay, good. Does that panic them? Alright. That means we get them right back, and okay. That's a disruption as well. Okay, and that's starting to free up the side of my army. And thanks to being out of command and control, I can't move to block that. At least we are getting rid of the elephants. And this is all going to melt at once. I think I've lost this now. A little bit of extra fire wasn't enough to. Well, we'll see. And now, of course, the elephants are going to come rumbling through. Luckily, they went in that direction, but of course, that's going to spread a morale bomb. It didn't actually take. I could try and charge the elephants and break them early, but I think they're going to break anyway. And it has at least got rid of 2 of Pompey's commanders. And what I could do, since I know I'm going to lose here anyway, is I could move the flank here and try and win this battle quickly. And that might give us time, that might free us up to fight the Bedouin cavalry here. I also... he's got me here as well. And all these troops can do is sadly ride off. I don't care about the javelin. Oh, touche. Because they're facing that way, that means they're in the retreat path. And of course this will all follow after me to get the fragmentation. Well played. Well, it can at least try and attack the Indian archers. While this slaughter is going on. Hopefully the elephants will be back in time. That I don't need to send these unarmored horse archers to check the situation. This is already a flanking mess anyway, so I may as well send my units here. I'm basically writing this entire section off now. I'm focusing on winning here, 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 and well, we might get something out of this, and this. Seeing as these guys are losing massively anyway, despite the entrenchments, I'm going to move to the rough ground instead, because we're not getting anywhere here. Next turn. Pompey's asking if I can borrow one of my elephants. I'm afraid I rather need my elephants right now, so I'm not going to let him borrow any of mine. I'm barely holding on here as it is. Give me a rest. That brings opportunities and problems. Right, we definitely want to see this, because I think my entire army here is about to melt down. Okay, our elephants held on, which is good. Yep, well played. Oh, he's moving into flank there. I was going to say, why on earth would he turn away like that? But that makes sense, just take a little bit more time and you can win everywhere. Okay, good, I was afraid they'd break off there and then I wouldn't get the chance for a flank. Good, now that might panic the horse archers. Oh, they held firm. Hope my lancers get themselves under control soon. That's useful. Right, let's see if we can't cause some damage to these units here. Oh wait, that's one of ours. Never mind. Bad start to the turn. Ah, come on, this is not a time for them to hold on like heroes. Great. Just great. Great, how do I want to die? Do I want to try and fall back and then get surrounded by the cavalry who will surmount the fence, or do I... I think I have to try and fall back. We held firm, and that might give us some survival chance here, at least for a while. Right. I could give the elephant the general and see if it rallies up. If we can keep it safe from charges, then we might manage to rally up and get that unit back. There's no way I can get away from the... oh goodness, we got this coming. Right, getting them away from the elephants at least. Let's see. Turn around here so we can get the flank on these unarmoured horse archers. Thing is, if those militia 3 or 4 I rally up, we're in trouble. Oh. Ah, we fragmented them. Now that does change matters, because now we might be able to break them with a charge. Ah, no, they didn't. That's a break. Good. That's what's got rid of them. One less thing to worry about. Now we've got all of these units back in the fray. I see they're threatening the elephants there. So I do need to try and protect the backs of these elephants. So am I going to try and invest resources into protecting these elephants, or am I just going to let them run away? Thing is, I think the elephants are still worth something to my army, so I'm going to try to hold on to them. We managed it this turn. Okay, but that means I need to invest resources now into protecting them. Let's see. Start to move around here. I know those nomad horse archers will go after my armoured horse archers next turn. I might actually need to send the elephants to lock them down. Of course, they could always go after my armoured noble lancers, but I'm not as worried about that. No good moves there. My javelin are about to die. My Bedouin cavalry are about to die. If we could get into melee with this unit. That doesn't seem like a very good idea. I think we need to try and reconsolidate. Over that way is a mess of bows, and over here is a charging elephant, and backing up means a cohesion test. And over here is a swarm of archers. There's nowhere good for these horse archers to go right now. Oh, we'll go down swinging then. Try and get as much fire into them as possible. Right, that wasn't much good, was it? We are... Well, it's close. That's the problem. I will pick up a few more routes here, hopefully. But so will Pompey. So it's coming down to the wire now. I think I have well, and if I lose all of the soldiers here, I might lose this outright. There's not a lot of room for error now. Next turn. Okay, this is the moment where the militia rally up. That's exactly what I was afraid of. That was useful though. They'll be disrupted by their own cavalry, by their own elephants. Unfortunately, my cavalry will be disrupted more. Because I'm pretty sure the routing elephants still panic. Oh wow, they did that with one volley. Usually you need only unprotected troops route to one volley. Yep. Flanked. God, that elephant was a bitter disappointment. Maybe it'll rally up. And the elephants have ended up in the perfect position to attack my horse archers. Well, that's pretty much it, isn't it? Not quite sure why we can't turn here. I suppose we can only turn to face this unit with this unit. Hopefully the Indian archers bounce off us, but I'm not confident anymore. This really has gone quite badly against me. Our Bedouin lancers probably won't get the better of that fight. Well, try and move something in front of my horse archers to protect them a little bit. What an embarrassing mess. Next turn. If we're lucky, we might catch the nomad light horse archers. Nope. Keeping our elephants running. Please let them bounce off. Only slightly disadvantaged against archers? I think the Levy spearmen have gone down in my estimations after this fight. They were absolutely useless. Now that might just give me the opening that I need. Oh goodness, how do I even begin to protect us from this? Do your best to get out of trouble. Before I do anything else, because it's critical I try and keep these units alive. Let's see what damage we can do to the enemy force. Okay, we broke them. Well, if we can smash through, then maybe. Let's see. Oh, this is going to be close. Right. Get forward and challenge the cataphracts. And keep the cataphracts back here for the moment. I'm actually going after the Indian archers. Move our own elephants forward. They'll finish off the archers if need be. Push them off the map. We need all the rout percentage we can get. Alright, it was only 1, but it helps. Okay, amazingly they stand their ground. There has to be a way to help this unit survive. Because right now it won't. It'll be fragmented and then chased off the map. This would prevent the javelin men from attacking. Obviously I'd be exposing my archers, but I think once I lose these 2 units, I lose the game anyway. We are actually in full attack range of those slingers, but the rest have to turn to attack us. And that might just be enough to save us. Of course, it depends. We could get caught by the elephants. Let's see. Well, soften up the unarmoured horse archers. No, we don't want to move to there. Move to here instead. We're going after the Indian archers. And we may as well pursue those elephants and make sure they don't come back to the fight, because they're not catching these nomad horse archers. And that's basically it. Next and hopefully not last turn. It's gonna be a close one. It's already a very close one. But that means I'm not dead this turn, so where there's life, there's hope, I guess. How did he slide past all of that? Well, that pretty much decides it. Okay, if that obstructs them enough, I might manage to get away. Oh, but they fragmented. Well, that's it. I'm at 60%. He wins. Well, let's talk about it. This one stung my heart because I had the superior army, I had the better resources, and I still went on to lose the fight. Pompey played me like a fiddle. He focused all his arrow fire on his levy spearmen, which I completely overestimated the blocking ability of. He picked exactly the right units to attack them. Now apparently these ditches aren't. No, they must be. They must be ditches, surely. These are obstacles. Although they don't seem to have behaved as obstacles here. So there may have been something that I didn't understand about how they functioned. Regardless of that, he blew through this initial horse archer screen like it was paper, and I just couldn't form up for an attack properly. And he managed to catch me in the hill here. That delayed me further. He just managed to use good zone of control rules to obstruct me constantly here. And although I was eventually able to win here, it was a far less convincing victory than I would have hoped for, and he just blew me to pieces here. Once again, moving the skirmishers around my flanks and then bombarding me where I was weakest, and Pompey is very good at that. He constantly rearranged his forces, and I was constantly trying to formulate a plan of attack, and he kept shifting soldiers around so that by the time I was set up for an attack in one place, he'd completely changed the unit balance, and he was ready for an attack somewhere else. So I was constantly reacting to what he was doing. I was never in control of the fight. So anyway, that's another defeat for me, and it looks like I really do have a lot to learn about using these kinds of armies. Again, I wasn't ready for his deployment. He deployed with a cavalry and infantry force where I was only expecting infantry, and again I'm being caught up by opponents who deploy with forces in terrain where I'm not expecting them to be in, and that's how they're getting the better of me. It's how Nosy Rat gets the better of me, it's how Pompey gets the better of me, and I need to try and learn to respond to that. So well done to Pompey for beating me again here, and I'll do my best to improve. I've been Napoleon Complex. Thank you for watching this video. Please consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed the content, and I will see you next time. Farewell. And here's the victory screen. Well, the for Pompey, that is.